Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of From Average to Savage. This is your host, Jose Vivanco, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in today again. You will never change your life until you change something that you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine, and that is exactly what I want to talk about today. I want to go into in a little bit of more depth as to what a routine is and why it's so important to create it and have it and follow through with it daily, every single day. So a routine is a sequence of actions regularly followed. Sorry. And what's really important about routines is that it negates the need of the willpower and motivation. And we had a whole episode about motivation and how it's essentially just very temporary. So what I mean by that is, if you listen to the episode, we talk about how motivation will only get you started, but it will not keep you going in a long-term basis. It's only there to get you going, and once you get going, it's very hard to use motivation as the only tool to continue with whatever it is that you're trying to do. So that's where routines and especially daily routines come in handy. So I'm sure everybody has noticed this already. It's very common when you start going to the gym, for example. Normally, when you go to the gym, the first couple of times is very difficult, and usually when you fall off the train, it becomes very, very, very hard to get going again. And this is the reason why. It's because you're relying everything on your motivation to go. So those days that you don't feel like going, if you don't have a routine where you know that at this time, this day, or sorry, at this time every day I go to the gym and I do this and that, if you don't have that in the back of your mind, then you're relying 100% on your motivation, you're very likely to fail. Again, this is a huge example as to why routines are so important and why we got to use them daily. And I'm sure that anybody that has kids have noticed this before. You know, when you go put your kids to bed, especially when they're very, very young, and you don't want them to be screaming and crying and making it very difficult. What do? You create a routine for them. You create a nighttime routine where you either go and read them a book, throw them in the bath for a little bit, you know, you put their PJs on, brush their teeth, and then you put them to bed. And when you do this every single day, the kids start to realize that, you know, as soon as I hit the bath, it means that it's almost bedtime, right? So then they automatically start to get tired. We also spoke a little bit about this on the sleep episode as to why you want to create a sleep sanctuary in your bedroom, because then as soon as you walk into it, your body automatically knows that it's bedtime and it's time to go to sleep. That's also a routine to an extent. Now, establishing a routine is not very easy because you will need that willpower and you will need the motivation to get going. And the discipline kicks in at this point where, you know, if you have the willpower and you have the motivation to make that decision to start a new routine, you will need your discipline to keep going and to actually create that routine, because a routine is not created overnight. It will take time. I'm not saying that it's going to take you 3 years to create one, but it's going to take enough time for you to make it a routine. And then it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it is something that you don't even think about anymore, that you just do it. And the good thing about habits is that they're really hard to break. And once you create a habit, then it's almost with you for life, right? Unless you want to make a change and you want to change something about it. But what I'm trying to get to here is that you want to create a good habit and a good routine for yourself with whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's the only way that you'll be successful at things. You can't, from a business point of view, for example, you cannot be successful if you don't have a routine in place as to what time I'm going to be having my meetings and what times I'm going to be contacting people, making cold calls, for example, or what time am I going to stop working, right? Because that's also very important. You can't be working yourself down to the point that you're, you know, in the office till midnight every single day of the week, because first, that will put a lot of strain in your relationships. And second, that, you know, you're missing out on sleep and you're missing out on everything else that is very important for your health just to keep your work going, right? And that's when people start having heart attacks and people start having, you know, breakdowns, complete mental breakdowns and stuff like that. It all happens because you're overworking yourself. But if you create a routine where you say from this time of the day until this time of the day, I'm gonna work on my business, and this is how I'm going to break down my business or my day. Sorry. Then you don't have that need to work until midnight anymore, because everything that you want to get done that day will get done as long as that routine is in place. Going back to the kids example that I was talking about, we really want our kids to have a structured life. And that's what routines do. Routines create structure. Colin Powell did a TED talk on how important it is to do this with children, but we don't take the same tips that we do for our kids and we don't apply them to ourselves as adults. And that's one of the biggest problems, is that we do all of these things for our kids, sorry, and then we grow up and we get older, and then we stop doing them, even though they were so successful for yourself as a child or for your kids. So you create these routines for your kids, and suddenly you see so much improvement, but then you don't apply those things to yourself. And that's why I think it's very important for us to take a step back and rethink how we're living our lives daily. And if you can, hopefully you can create a daily routine that it will end up becoming a habit, and then you don't even have to think about it anymore. So then you're doing all of these things that are so good for you and so helpful and beneficial, but you don't even have to think about it anymore. Imagine how good that would be. Imagine how easy your life would be if you created something that you don't even realize that you're doing anymore, but it's super beneficial for you. So I don't see why anybody would not want to create a daily routine, because it's super helpful for themselves. The other thing that's really good for jumping back into the structure thing, the only thing that's really important to create this structure is because you won't need to schedule things regularly anymore, because you already, like I said, you already have it all laid out for you, and you already know exactly what you're doing. Once you're done one task, you already know what the next one is, and you don't even have to think about it anymore. That's a key thing. So you don't have to think about it anymore. So then it's not a stressor anymore, creating a much healthier lifestyle automatically. The structure part of things, when you have this structure, you don't have any more standing around time. And what's standing around time? It's like, if you want to get things done without a sense of direction, so without a map, for example, you're just going to stand still. And that's when you start falling back into the Facebook, into the Instagram, into your social media in general. And the things that you want to get accomplished in your day, you don't accomplish them. And jumping back into the business example, if you end up doing this for most of your day, you end up procrastinating. And at the end of the day, you're trying to rush everything. And that's how you end up staying at the office till midnight. For, like, again, in the business example, it's because you're not structuring your daily routines. Again, I'm going to repeat that word a lot, because it is very important for you to have a routine that you follow every single day. So you don't want to follow these routines just from Monday to Friday and then don't follow them on Saturday and Sunday because it's the weekend. You want to be able to keep these routines going every single day of your life, and you will see the benefit, because the benefit is there. Now, what is the best place to start with creating your routine? So it all depends on what your goals are, but what I want to get into today is a habit and a routine that will literally help you with whatever your goals might be, whether that is a health and fitness goal, or it's a business-oriented goal, or just want to get specific things done throughout the day, every single day. This is going to help you. And what it is a morning routine, right? Like we all wake up in the morning. We all got to start our day at one point. And I personally believe that a morning routine is absolutely key for you to have a successful day, have a day full of energy, and have a day where your stress levels are much lower than they normally would be, because you already have your entire day planned out and started from the second that you wake up. And then if this morning routine becomes a habit and you do these things without even thinking about it anymore, then it just becomes that much easier to do them. So what does my morning kind of look like? I don't want to give you like a description of my life by any means, but I just want to give you an example as to how you can start creating your routine. And you want to make these changes for yourself as fast as possible, but you don't want to make it stressful to you. You don't want to create or try to create a habit or create a routine that it becomes so difficult on you that you're starting your day stressing about it. If hopefully that makes sense to you, but if you're trying to change, 10 different things, or you're trying to add 10 different things into your morning routine all at once, the second that one of them doesn't go the way that you're planning, it becomes very stressful. And as somebody with kids, kids will throw curveballs at you all day long, right? So a lot of the times the kids will wake up a little bit earlier than expected, or I will not be able to wake myself up as early as I want to, and it just becomes very difficult. But one of the things that you want to make sure you do first thing in the morning is to focus on yourself. And this is key for your success, and it's key for you as an individual to put all your focus on you. That means don't reach for the Facebook, don't reach for social media, don't wake up and start answering emails first thing in the morning, because that's you giving all of your priorities to the people around you. You're paying attention to everybody's life except for your own. So you want to make sure that you give yourself some time that it's for you and you only. So why am I bringing this up? Is because one of the things that I'm trying to change is try to wake up at least an hour before my fiance wakes up, because I get everything ready for her to go to work in the morning, and the kids wake up at around the same time as she leaves. So if I give myself that extra hour of being awake before anybody else is awake, then I can accomplish all of the things that I want to do for myself, take care of myself, before I can start taking care of the rest of my family. So one of the things that I do first thing in the morning is I'll drink a liter of water. And the reason why I do this is because, well, your body is the most dehydrated first thing in the morning. And that happens because your body will be doing a lot of processes throughout the night. So your body doesn't completely shut down when you go to sleep. It's just basically you're sleeping. But like I mentioned in episode 2, there's a lot of hormonal changes that happen inside of your body, and there's a lot of processes that happen inside of your body, and all of these require fluids. So you're spending 7 to 8 hours, hopefully, without getting any water in you, while your body is using water that's in your system. So obviously when you wake up, you're going to be the most dehydrated. So if you get a liter of water, or a good amount of water first thing in the morning, then you're rehydrating your body. And the reason why I drink so much water right away is because you never know what the day is going to look like at the end of the day. You want to be able to have a routine and have a habit that kind of controls your day, but you'll never ever know exactly what your day is going to look like. And sometimes you get busy, and that's normal. That's absolutely normal. And when you get busy, sometimes the water bottle just sits there as decoration, and you don't actually touch it, you don't drink it, and then you go on with your day without drinking that much water throughout the day. So if you drink a good amount of water first thing in the morning, you're taking care of that problem before it becomes a problem. So you already have a decent amount of water in your system before the day begins, before you have an opportunity to forget to grab your water bottle or go somewhere and not bring it with you, whatever the case might be. The other thing that's important about this is that you're flushing your system, right? If you drink that liter of water first thing in the morning before you do anything else, when you do the other things that I'm going to mention, by the time that you're done all of these things, you're going to have to go to the bathroom. So then before your day truly begins, you're already flushing your system, which is really, really good for you as well. So one of the things that Sean Stevenson mentions is that it's very important for you to feed your brain as well. And feeding your brain doesn't mean stuffing food through your ear into your brain. What I mean by feeding your brain is you want to learn first thing in the morning. So by that, I mean, you don't want to be reading it's up to you as to what you want to read. But if you're reading fantasy books and books about, Game of Thrones or something like that, I don't believe that's going to lead you to much success for the rest of the day. So what do I read about? I'll read about exercise and, food and stuff like that. I'm reading a book called Food, What the Heck Should I Eat? Normally I put 20 minutes to half an hour of reading every morning, and then I'm learning, and it motivates me and it keeps me going. It creates momentum for me to continue this path throughout the day, so that everything that I've read that morning is something that I can apply that day. So if you're learning something new first thing in the morning, it gives you that chance to apply these things that you're learning throughout the day. So what can you do? So, not everybody likes to read, right? So feeding your brain, I mean putting information in your brain that you deem to be important to you or valuable to you. Valuable would be a much better word to use, I believe. So you can listen to podcast. You can listen to a podcast that's going to help you learn things that you're interested in, or you can use audiobooks. If you're not into the reading, you're not the reading kind. I enjoy reading, so it's a really good and easy way for me to start my day. I have it set up so I can get up, drink my water, go downstairs and start reading right away, and it's just very, very enjoyable to me. So that's why I read a book. You don't have to read a book. I'm just going to repeat this. You don't have to read a book first thing in the morning, but make sure that you're feeding your brain with valuable information via podcast, audiobook, or an actual book. So once I'm done my book, then I do one of the hardest things that I have ever done. It doesn't have to be hard for everybody. It's just that I have a very, very busy mind. But that's not an excuse for you to not be able to do this. It's just something that it's a little bit hard for me, but it's a habit that I've started a few months ago, and it's proven to be very helpful for my day, and that's meditating. So I'll sit there and I'll meditate for 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the day. Sometimes I'll even pass out, which is not really ideal for your morning routine. But if you're starting to feel sleepy while you're meditating, don't fight it. As you're fighting it, you're kind of countering the whole benefits of the meditation. I will do an episode in the future on meditation in general and how beneficial it is to you. I don't want to get into that right now, but that's one of the things that I go and do because it calms me down. It releases stress, and it puts me in a good mood for the rest of the day. Once I'm done meditating, I will review my plan for the day. So I have a lot of things that I got to do every single day. So every single day I got to take care of the kids, drive the one to school, then pick him up, make sure the other one's taking a nap, try to find time to study, do some reading throughout the day as well, take care of the podcast, take care of a lot of things, clean the house. I have a lot of things to do throughout my day. So I find that when I plan ahead and then I review it first thing in the morning, it becomes easier for me to be able to handle all of these things, because then I know I'm going to be doing all of these things today. And there's a roadmap. There's a map literally in front of me saying, okay, this is the direction that you're going to take. If I didn't have this daily plan, and if I didn't apply this daily plan, then I would literally sit there with 10 different things that I got to do and not know where to start. But if you create a plan for your day and you go one step at a time, then it becomes a lot easier and you start tackling things, and then the momentum grows, and then you just get everything done. So it's really, really helpful to have for you to review what you want to do that day. So one of the things that I really focus on is to be able to provide to people. This is the whole reason why I'm doing the podcast, is because I want to teach people. So one of the things that I reach out to do that I plan to do every day is be able to reach out to somebody new. Be able to reach to somebody and say, hey man, I got this podcast. I want you to listen to it. This will help you. And that's just one of the things that I want to get done on a daily basis. And it helps me to have this review of my day, because then I know, okay, today I have to reach out to somebody, try to help somebody, and then I do so, And I know that sounds very easy to do. Like I'm making it sound like it's super easy to do, when in reality it's not that simple. But you want to be able to plan your day. You want to be able to know exactly what's coming your way. So if you have to go to the grocery store and you have to clean the floors and you have to, I don't know, go get something at Home Depot or whatever, if you have this plan and you know exactly where you're going and you know exactly the order in which you're going to be doing things, it just becomes a lot easier. And the stress levels go down, right? Because then you're not stressed anymore. You're not sitting at home thinking. And I've done this a million times. Trust me, I've done this so many times where I'll sit at home and I'm like, well, I gotta go do this 4 things, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Where should I start? And then it ends up being 6 in the afternoon and I didn't accomplish a single thing. So again, if you have your day planned and you have them in order as to what you want to get done first, second, third, whatever, then okay, I'm gonna go to Home Depot first because whatever reason it might be, and then I'm gonna go to the grocery store, and then I'm gonna go and do this, and then I'm gonna clean the floor, so then you have all of these things already set up for you, and you have created a map for yourself. Hopefully you're creating this map the day before, and I'll explain that later. But then if you review this first thing in the morning, then you know exactly what's coming ahead. We talked about exercising on our episode 2, and we talked about why exercising in the mornings is way better for you because it helps your sleep, believe it or not. Especially if you work out in the morning as opposed to working out in the evening. So for me, because of the kids and my fiance's schedule at work, we do work out in the evenings, and it does affect my sleep a little bit. I have noticed that I've paid a lot of attention to it when we started going to the gym again together, and I have seen a bit of a difference on my sleep patterns. But it's just what you gotta do. And to me, this is important because I will sacrifice that side of things just so I can better my relationship side of things. So like I've mentioned in my previous episodes, my fiance and I don't get to see each other very often because of our work schedule. So would I rather get, a little bit of a better sleep, but not see her for more than an hour a day? Or would I rather go to the gym with her, get to spend the entire afternoon and evening with her, and then just sacrifice a little bit of my sleep? I personally would rather sacrifice my sleep because my relationship is very, very important to me. It's my family, right? So I go to the gym with her in the afternoons / evenings, depending on the day. But anyways, back to what I was talking about before. You do want to exercise first thing in the morning, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go and run a 3-mile race, at a pace of a race, sprinting or go and lift do deadlifts and squats first thing in the morning. Something as simple as just going for a stroll, just go for a walk, go for a 20-minute walk. 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is that you have, however many minutes you have in your morning to do this, take it and go and exercise. I find that going for a walk is very relaxing as well. It's nice to get out there in nature-ish. We live in the city, so it's not much of a nature, but you're getting fresh air first thing in the morning. If you're in a place like where we live, where in the summer, around this time, the sun's coming out nice and early, you get to see the sunrise, and it's just very relaxing. So it's very helpful for you to do this. And I think that going for a walk is not too much to ask. There's been studies showing that a brisk walk will burn more fat than sprinting. And so if that's what you're trying to get into and you're trying to do some fat loss, you can get this side of your exercise early in the day before your day really begins. And I find it very amazing that you can accomplish so much before anybody else is even awake. How many people do you know are awake at 6 in the morning? Like not many. Most people start their jobs at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you're starting your day at 5 in the morning and you have accomplished all of these things for yourself before 6 in the morning, you're already, miles ahead from other people. Right? So why would you not want to do this? I don't know. It's very important. I think it's very cool. And it's something that I apply to my daily routine. So after I exercise, obviously I come in and I'll shower, get everything ready. And once the shower is done, I know that my day is beginning. And this is usually when my fiance will be up, and then I'll go downstairs and I'll go and get the breakfast and stuff done, get her lunches all packed up for her. So she can take it to work, and by the time that she's gone, then the kids are up, and then my day it's starting. And at this point I have already accomplished so much for myself, not for anybody else, but myself, not even my family, right? I took care of myself. I took care of my things. You want to start your day by doing all of these things and focusing on yourself. Don't focus on the people around you. And like I mentioned before, grabbing Facebook or grabbing your phone and going on Facebook or social media, answering emails first thing in the morning, it's you taking care of everybody else's needs before yours. And you can't give to people out of a half-empty cup. You just can't do it. So you have to fill your own cup, which means you have to take care of yourself first, and then you worry about the rest. And this is something that I've learned recently. And up until then, what I was doing was I'd wake up to get everything ready for my fiance for work, and then the kids would be up, and then I had no time to meditate, no time to exercise, no time to do anything for myself because of the timing in which she would literally walk out the door and I would come back in, and one of them would be coming downstairs and the other one will be screaming his head off in his crib because he's ready to get out of there. So by me pushing this back just that hour gives me enough time to take care of myself and then take care of my family. And you can't take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself. Again, like I know it's repetitive and I apologize for that, but it's something that I believe to be very important, because if you're not taking care of yourself, how are you going to take care of somebody else? You're just going to be draining yourself. You're going to drain yourself dry to the point that you're going to have nothing left in you to be able to help these people. And again, this is a personal example. This whole podcast is based on an average person trying to become a savage in the health and fitness world, right? So don't forget that I'm still that average person. I'm still in that transition. I'm still trying to better myself in many ways. And that's something that we should all be doing. We should all be trying to better our version from yesterday. So you want today's version to be an improvement from yesterday's version. And creating daily routines, it's a massive way to create that improvement and make that improvement happen. If you're doing the exact same things, negative things, every single day of your life, you're never going to change and you're never going to get better. But if you make these changes and you create a positive routine, you create a positive thing to do throughout your day, you will always improve. You will always be better than the day before. Whatever your routine might be. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to stick to health and fitness. It can be something, whatever goals you have in life, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. If you have these routines and you place them strategically, you will always improve from the day before. So to recap, I already mentioned the importance of having a daily routine, which will eventually become a habit. And once it becomes a habit, then there is absolutely no thinking required from your side. So again, I will repeat what I said earlier. Once your routine becomes a habit, then there's no need to schedule anything anymore, because your brain will automatically know what the next step is. It becomes something natural to you, something that you do every single day, and it doesn't matter what changes, you're going to find a way to do this. And while I mention this, before I forget, these routines, these daily routines, if you're going to apply these morning routines, you have to realize that things are going to change. Not every single day you're going to have that hour to yourself. Not every single day you're going to be able to do all of the things that you want to do, because things do come up, and that's just normal. That's life. Life is, life throws curveballs at you. Kids throw them at you. There's so many things that can change from one day to the next. So what I would recommend is that you don't stop doing these routines. If you find yourself with only half an hour to take care of these things, just don't do them for as long anymore. Don't meditate for 10 minutes. Don't read for half an hour. Don't exercise for half an hour, or 20 minutes or whatever it is. What you want to do is shorten everything. So you'll mix them up. You can mix them up. You can drink your water first thing in the morning, and then you can exercise while you're learning. So as you're going for a walk, you can put on a podcast. Hopefully you're tuning into From Average to Savage. You can listen to a podcast. You can listen to an audiobook while you're walking or exercising, doing whatever it is that you choose to do. At the same time as, then you go and meditate, and then you go shower, and then you're done, right? And then you can do all of these things in a shorter period of time, but you don't want to deviate from your daily routine, because then it will never become a habit if you're always changing it up. So for it to become a habit, you have to be able to follow through with this every single day. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a full hour and a half or an hour every single day. But if you suddenly find yourself with only 20 minutes, just mix things up, put two things together, mush them together, and apply them at the same time. And that's going to save you time at the end of at the beginning of your day, I guess I should say. But you can do that, or you can just do shorter periods of time. So you don't read for half an hour, you just read for 10 minutes. Read for 10 minutes, meditate for 5, exercise for 10 minutes, and that's basically a half an hour with the shower involved and everything else. So there's ways to get around things. The excuse of I don't have time to do these things is really not valid, because at the end of the day, as a human being, you're in full control on what you do with your day and what you do with your life. Some things may come up that might be unexpected, but you still have the control. And you still have the control to say, I'm not going to fall for this negative thing, or I'm going to let this negative thing bring me down for the rest of the day. You're still under control. So even though life happens, just make sure that you continue to do your routines. Make sure that you continue to create these really good habits for you. So then, again, like I said, you don't even have to think about them anymore. They just happen. You just do them naturally. So recap. It's really good for you to create a routine because it does negate the need for willpower and motivation for you to continue to do the things that you want to do. It will build momentum. It will increase efficiency, which we didn't really talk about too much, but that's because I kind of threw it in there with what we were talking about, and obviously provide the structure for the day. So to recap my morning routine, I do brush my teeth first thing in the morning. I didn't bring it up before, but it is part of a routine because it's an action that I'm taking daily. Then I'll go and drink my 1 liter of water. Then I will go downstairs, read my book or listen to a podcast. I will meditate. Then I will review my day. And then I'll exercise or do my mobility work. And then I'll go in and shower. And then my day, it's just beginning. Like, I've already taken care of myself by that point, so now I can take care of my family, get everything ready for my fiance, and get everything ready for the kids for the day. If you're going to apply any of these things to your life, or if you're going to focus on creating your own routines, I would recommend you to start slow. There's absolutely no need for you to, out of nowhere, do everything all at once. Because it becomes very hard and it's very stressful to try to do these things. And if you don't enjoy it, then your brain is not going to want to do it anymore. So then you're end up kind of falling off the wagon here, and you don't want to do that. You want to be able to go at it at a decent pace, add 1 or 2 things to your routines every week, get used to them, then add a little bit more and get used to that, and then add a little bit more, just because then it creates a success, and practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So if you're practicing all of these things, then it becomes something in you, and it becomes a habit, and it's with you for the rest of your life. And if you're listening to the show and you're going to be listening to the future shows, and you're going to do your research on your health and fitness, hopefully we'll have a very, very, very long life to live. So you have a lot of time to act on these things. But, I do recommend you to start today or tomorrow or whatever your plan is, but start slow. Don't rush it. Like I said, there's no need to rush anything. Take your time, enjoy it, enjoy the process. You have to enjoy what you're doing for you to be happy. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then why do it? Why bother doing it? So enjoy your changes, enjoy seeing the progress that you're making, enjoy feeling much better than you did the day before, enjoy being more successful than the day before. And that's how I'm going to end it today. So again, I hope that you guys got a lot of value out of this. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, leave a review. Please leave a review. Share everything with your friends. If you did enjoy the episode, don't forget to go on your social media and let everybody know that there's a lot of good information in here. Like us on Facebook. Leave us comments on Facebook, please. Like I said, I love hearing how you guys are doing. A lot of people approach me either in person or send me messages, and I love that. I love people asking me for help. I just don't like it when they don't follow through with it. But I do love helping people. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All my information is on Facebook. You can also follow us on Instagram and leave a comment there if that's your way to go. And that's it for me. So I hope you guys have a great week. Hopefully you are able to apply some of these things and create a routine for yourself, and continue to be healthy, continue to do your exercises, try out the earthing and everything else that I've talked about in the previous episodes. Hopefully you have a wonderful week. Take care, and I will talk to you guys later.